The rain poured endlessly over the quiet city streets that night. The world outside shimmered in reflections of red and gold from neon signs and passing cars, but inside a broken alley behind a restaurant, a woman sat trembling, her designer coat soaked through. Her hair clung to her pale face, her high heels lay discarded beside her, and her left leg was twisted awkwardly beneath her. That woman was Amelia Grant, the CEO of Grant Technologies, a name that commanded power, prestige, and headlines. But tonight, she was unrecognizable. The confident, sharp-tongued executive who used to stand before boards and investors was gone, replaced by someone small, frightened, and desperate. Her car had broken down miles away, her phone battery was dead, and a fall on the slippery street had left her ankle sprained so badly she could barely move. To make things worse, two drunk men had noticed her from across the street, their laughter echoing through the rain as they stumbled closer. Her pulse raced. She tried to crawl backward, but pain shot through her leg like fire. "Please," she whispered hoarsely, "don't hurt me, I can't walk." Before they could take another step, a voice broke through the downpour, deep, commanding, and filled with authority. "Hey, leave her alone." The men turned sharply. A tall figure stepped out of the shadows, a man in a soaked flannel shirt, pushing a small bicycle beside him. Standing behind him was a little girl, no older than 8, clutching a pink backpack and staring at the scene with wide, frightened eyes. The man, Ethan Cole, was a single dad, a mechanic who worked double shifts to keep food on the table. He had been walking his daughter, Lily, home from his late shift when they'd taken the shortcut through the alley. The two men muttered angrily, but one look at Ethan's solid build and the steel in his eyes made them hesitate. "You heard me," Ethan growled, stepping closer. "Walk away before I make you." They sneered, but finally turned and disappeared into the darkness. Ethan knelt beside the trembling woman. "It's okay," he said softly. "They're gone. You're safe now." Amelia tried to speak, but her voice cracked. I fell, I can't stand up." He examined her ankle gently. "You've got a bad sprain. You shouldn't move it, let's get you out of the rain." Without hesitation, he lifted her into his arms. She gasped in surprise, she wasn't used to being held like that, especially by a stranger. But his arms were steady and warm, and the moment his daughter tucked Amelia's discarded purse under her coat to keep it dry, something in Amelia's heart shifted. Inside Ethan's small, cozy apartment, the air smelled faintly of coffee and oil. He laid her carefully on the couch, wrapping her leg with a cold towel while Lily handed her a blanket. "You should rest," Ethan said. "I'll call someone for you." Amelia shook her head. "My phone, it's dead." "Then you stay here until morning," he said firmly. "I'll make tea." She hesitated. Her pride told her to refuse. She was a CEO, used to control and distance. But exhaustion won. "Thank you," she murmured, her eyes softening as Lily offered her a steaming mug of chamomile tea. "Daddy always helps people," Lily said brightly. "Even when we don't have much." Ethan smiled tiredly. "That's what we do, kiddo. We help when we can." Amelia's gaze lingered on the father and daughter, their laughter, their warmth, the simple kindness that seemed to fill the room. It felt foreign, and yet, comforting. By morning, sunlight streamed through the thin curtains. Amelia awoke to the smell of pancakes and the sound of laughter. Ethan was flipping breakfast while Lily danced to a tune from an old radio. Amelia smiled faintly, something she hadn't done in a long time. "Morning," Ethan greeted her. "How's the ankle?" She moved it slightly and winced. "Still hurts, but better. I can take you to the hospital after breakfast," he said. She nodded, hesitating as she looked around the modest apartment, the peeling wallpaper, the old couch, the hand-drawn pictures Lily had pinned to the wall. "You live here?" she asked softly. "Yeah," Ethan said simply. "It's not much, but it's home." Lily giggled. "We call it Castle Cole, right, Daddy?" He laughed. "Right, Princess." Something in Amelia's chest tightened. She had all the riches the world could offer, yet she'd never seen this kind of happiness. No meetings, no phones, just warmth, love, and peace. Later that week, after her ankle healed, Amelia returned to her glass tower office, but something inside her had changed. She found herself thinking about Ethan and Lily constantly. A week later, she asked her assistant to arrange a meeting, not with a client, but with a mechanic. When Ethan arrived at the towering building, he looked out of place in his work jacket and boots. He was led into her corner office, where she stood waiting with a smile. "Miss Grant," he said, surprised. You're that woman from the alley. Yes, she said softly. And you're the man who saved me. She walked around her desk and extended a small folder. You said you fix cars, right? He nodded, cautious. Well, she said, smiling, I'm starting a new program, a community partnership for single parents and small business owners. I want to invest in your garage, expand it, and give you the resources you need. You'll be able to hire more people, maybe even teach others. Ethan blinked, speechless. Why me? Because, she said, her voice trembling with sincerity, you helped me when I was just another person on the street. You didn't care about my name, my money, or my position. You just cared. Tears welled up in his eyes. You don't owe me anything. I know, she said softly. But I want to. Months later, Ethan's garage had doubled in size. Lily had her own small desk beside him, drawing pictures of cars and hearts. And every week, Amelia stopped by, sometimes in her sleek black car, sometimes just to talk. They shared coffee, laughter, and eventually, something deeper, respect, friendship, and perhaps the beginning of love. One evening, as the sun dipped below the skyline, Amelia sat beside Ethan outside the shop. Lily ran through the parking lot chasing butterflies. You know, Amelia said quietly, that night, I thought my life was ending. But you changed everything. Ethan smiled, his gaze steady on her. Sometimes, he said softly, you have to fall to see who's willing to pick you up. Amelia looked at him, her eyes shimmering with gratitude and something more. Thank you, for picking me up. He chuckled. Anytime, Miss Grant, call me Amelia, she said, smiling. They sat in silence, watching Lily laugh in the golden light. The city skyline glowed behind them, but here, in this quiet place filled with kindness, laughter, and second chances, Amelia had finally found what all her money could never buy. Ending narration. Sometimes, the most powerful people aren't the ones in corner offices, but the ones who stop to help when the world looks away. And sometimes, a single act of kindness can heal more than a wound, it can change a life forever. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that remind us what kindness truly means.